Hey guys, it's Alex Vanover back with Divine Design Crafts. I'm here in Mom's basement with my mom.
Hey!
This is Roxanne and she is going to be working with me today. We are working on a spring wreath. She went to the Biltmore with my dad recently and she saw a wreath that she absolutely loved and was super inspired by. So we're going to try to recreate that for her house. But I'm new to wreaths and she's new to wreaths. So this is going to be a fun little experiment. So just bear with us for a few moments. And if you guys will give me just a moment, tell me where you're from and let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay. I'm going to share our video around a little bit to Facebook and stuff like that so some friends can join us. And after that, we'll show you what we started and where we still need to go. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Easter. We are having our family over. Well, my mom is having our family over later today, and they are going to be here soon. So we are hoping to have a really pretty wreath on the door. See if I can find it here. There we go. There we go. Hopefully you guys may hear. There we go. If you guys joined me last night, I made I added a monogram to a nylon umbrella, so that was fun. And I contemplated bringing it today, but I decided to wait and let it cure for 24 hours. It's always good to let your adhesive wait it out a little bit before you're going to use it. So I left my umbrella at home, but I'm super excited to use that soon. Give me just a moment here, guys.
Yeah, I am not the crafty person. My daughter is, so I am really excited that she's helping me to do this because this wreath that I saw down at the Biltmore it was stunning, at least in my opinion. So I did go to Michael's and I bought the flowers and grapevine wreath at Michael's. They were having a sale on the spring flowers, so I am really excited.
Yeah, so Mom, if you don't mind, why don't you pull up that picture on your phone and try to get closer to the camera and show them the wreath that we are trying to emulate today.
So this is my influence. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I like the yellows and the pinks. It's a pretty large wreath.
Yeah, and you guys, she literally bought the biggest wreath I've ever seen in my life. So this is going to be fun.
Well, fortunately, we have the doorway, the glass door that can accommodate that. So I hope you can see that.
So Mom, what did we talk about earlier when we talked about kind of the design behind it and where we're going? Can you tell them a little bit about what we're going for with the diagonal lines and stuff?
So Alexandra, she's Alexandra to me because she's my daughter. So we talked about when you first start a wreath that you want to go, the emphasis would be on the large flowers like on a diagonal when you're trying to figure out where to start on a grapevine wreath, because there are so many flowers, like what would be the starting point. And so we did go ahead and place emphasis on when Alexandra held up the wreath and then this diagonal. So
Yeah, there are many different styles of wreaths. Some people like to do just kind of one side covered with flowers and then they leave the other side open. There's tons of different ways that you can do this, but that's kind of, when she showed me the picture, that's what I observed about it, was that the base of the flowers are on a diagonal line, and then they took a lot of these long, I don't know what these flowers are called, but these long yellow flowers and sort of built out to give it tons and tons of volume. So we have lots of these. So far what we did before we started this video is we used wire clippers and we clipped a lot of the flowers off of off their wire, and we started to place them. So I placed them and then I let my mom see kind of where I had started to see if she liked them. And so the first thing we're going to do is go back in and hot glue a lot of these flowers in place, and then we're going to proceed. So that's kind of how we're going to build out today. We have our bases built and we're going to build out. So the biggest flowers are in the center of the base, and then we're going to build out to medium flowers and then our small long sprigs of flowers to try to give it that volume that we're looking for. So I'm going to pick it up and show you guys where we're at so far. It's like literally massive. We can't even fit the whole thing in frame.
I can't get it any larger.
Yeah, I believe that. And you guys will see my cord today. Normally I hide that from you guys, but I'm going to have to move my camera around a little bit. So that's what this little cord is hanging off my shirt. And if you're just now joining me, welcome. My name's Alex Vanover and you're here with Divine Design Crafts. So welcome to not my usual craft room. Well, welcome to my parents' basement. I'm here with special guest, my mom.
Hey.
And we are making a spring wreath for her front door inspired by one that she saw at the Biltmore.
So that's the diagonal that we were just talking about.
Yep. So we've got some of the biggest, brightest flowers on this diagonal line, and then we're going to start to build out to the sides with the medium flowers, and then we're going to add lots of sprigs of flowers coming out this way and give it that big volume, the big pop of yellow that she really liked. So that's where we're at. So while she continues to cut some more flowers or starts to hot glue them, I'm going to come over and adjust you guys. So bear with me for just a second. I'm going to angle you down a little bit so that you can see what we're working with a little bit better.
I tried, but I was not successful in setting that
It's a little hard to move the thing around. So I'm going to leave my microphone here. Try not to touch it.
Okay.
Because it's going to get really loud if you do. Do you guys ever craft with your mom? Let us know in the comments if you craft with your mom very often. I think I may have inherited my crafty interest and abilities from my paternal grandmother. She was super, super crafty, but my mom and I did not grow up crafting together. But that's okay, because I've learned lots and lots since then. Can you see down on the wreath a little bit better here?
No. Yeah, you should probably, you can see a little bit.
You know what? Let's try this angle. How's that?
I think that's going to be better.
Okay.
A little more broad.
I'll try to get you guys in the best angle that I can here. My tripod is a little bit wonky though. Okay, how's that?
I think that's
crooked?
it. I think that's it.
Is it crooked? Can you tell?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe the left needs to go up, or you're right.
Okay.
Yes.
Better? Is that better? Or worse?
No, it's about the same. You should probably come over and take a look.
Okay. All right. Whoops. Now you're tipping over. Oh gosh. How's that?
Yeah.
Better?
I think that's got it.
All right, guys. So you're kind of at our top angle up this way, and that way you can see what we're working with a little bit better. So I'm putting my microphone back on. Sorry if the sound quality got a little gross for a second. No, they can't see it. So you're good. All right. So we are going to, next we have these flowers placed and we're going to start hot gluing some of these stems to the wreath. So I like to place my flowers inside the wreath before we glue so that it's not permanent. And then that way we can take a look. And if you don't like the placement or if it's not shaping up the way that you want it to, then, you can kind of see that before it's too late. Trying to get this guy going. It's a brand new hot glue gun. So we got to get her started a little bit there. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Easter holiday. We are celebrating with our family today, which is why I'm in Cincinnati at my parents' house. I don't know why it's not wanting to go. Let's give this hot glue gun some more time. It's brand new, so I wonder if it needs a little more time to heat. And we'll place a few more flowers before we do any gluing. So let's take our next size of flower, which actually, would you mind, Mom, clipping some of these more medium size? So we're going to take some of these smaller flowers like this size, and that's what we're going to build out next before we get to the yellow flowers. So just like these smaller ones. And I'll start placing a few that I do have. I love the look of these kind of wildflowery, just little stems of everything. I think it looks great. And we are going to be going into the direction of the wreath like this so that we create a spray out this way that goes around the wreath. This way we'll create lots of volume. So guys, if you're just now joining me, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out in my non-traditional craft room today. We're building a spring wreath inspired by one that my mom saw recently at the Biltmore. So let me know in the comments, do you normally make wreaths? Do you make the grapevine wreaths like this, or do you do the mesh kind? Let me know what kind of wreath builders you guys are, or if you've never built a spring wreath before and you want to learn how today. Let me know in the comments. But you are a little far away today, and I'm a little blind, so I'm sorry if I don't catch them like I usually do. So you just got to kind of find a good opening and slip your stuff down in there. And then we're going to basically be going through to the back. So when we are all finished, we will have to go back through with wire cutters, and we'll have to clip all the stems that reach over to the back side of the wreath. I'm going to get rid of some of my leaves. Sometimes those get in the way more than they help. You can always go back and add those in the end for some greenery.
Well, I like the fact that you can go ahead and just arrange it, and then you can glue it in case you decide that you're not too crazy about the current arrangement.
Yeah, you kind of, once you start to build these up, you kind of get a feel for the direction that it's going, and then if you don't like it, you can still change it. And I guess in theory, since my parents have a covered porch, you technically may not even need to hot glue it at all. If you really didn't want to, you could probably leave it the way that it is and change it out if you really wanted to. Yeah. It just depends on how permanent you want it to be and how long you want it to last.
Well, I trust your judgment, so I think I'll probably hot glue it so it doesn't move.
Yeah, so it doesn't get messed up in the elements, especially with all the rain and stuff that you get in the spring. It is a little bit more harsh.
The way the winds were last night.
Yeah, you could definitely end up with some flowers flying all over the place. So we're building up toward the center here, just grabbing some of these stems. Let's do, that one already has this one, so I love these cute little fake berries. I think these are so pretty. We are going to build up this way a little bit because it doesn't have any of that. I try to kind of keep things oppositely balanced. So basically each side of the wreath is going to have the same flowers, but they're going to be arranged in a different way so that it's all balanced. There's not a ton of color over here and less over here, or vice versa. They're all about the same. They just look a little bit different, and that's going to give them that look that we're going for. So let's build out, I think we need this corner here. So let's grab some of these. And I'm removing a lot of these stems here just because or a lot of these leaves just because I think they're going to take up some room. Or actually what we'll do is we'll slide them up a little closer so that they're as close to the top of the stem as they can be. And then we'll slide them in so that way it's not keeping us from pushing the flower in.
Do you need more of those?
No, this is probably my last stem up here. And then I'm going to stop and check it. So, all right, this little orange guy's getting hidden here. So we'll move him. Oops, he fell off. May have to hot glue that in there. So it works out really well, you guys, because these little flowers are so easy to pop off their stems and stuff. So if you were to lose a stem or something, you can totally just put it right back on. No big deal. We're going to remove that little guy and put him in here. All right, so we're going to do another check, and we're going to see how we like this wreath. So I'll pick it up, Mom, and you tell me what you like.
Okay.
And we'll see what the people of YouTube think also. Oh, we're losing a few. Probably going to have to glue those here soon. All right, Mom, so what do you think?
I like it.
You like the progress we're making?
I do.
Okay, because I'm thinking that after we finish this, would you mind picking up the camera and moving it up a little bit? So pick up the phone so that people can see where we're going. Uh-oh. All right, guys, so this is where we're at. We've got a big base up here and big base down here. So our next move is to use our yellow and white flowers, and we're going to start making that spray. You can set it back down now. So let's see if our glue gun is looking any better now. And we'll try to glue some of these pieces in because I don't want you to spend a ton of time having to re-glue everything, after we're finished. I don't know where that came out from. Probably right here. Because there's a big hole. There we go. All right. So I'm going to pull this little piece out. He's kind of crazy. So we're going to see if we can glue these stems any better. There we go. So I'm just attaching the glue stem just to the closest grapevine that I can reach. It doesn't have to be super glued in there. Just a little bit will be more than enough, and then you just want to hold it in place. Do you need to run, Mom? You can.
I'll be right back.
Mom is working on hosting an Easter meal, so we can't blame her for having to run away for a moment. So I'm just going through and gluing these stems just enough for them to stay in place. We're going to glue them to the stems, the grapevine stems around them. No big deal. All right. Is anyone else hosting Easter today or this weekend? Let us know in the comments. That's always fun. My mom is killing it this year. She's super organized, got everything ready to go already. So I'm super proud of her. All right. So we may have to go back in later and re-glue some of these stems depending on how they move. But I think this will give us a good starting point. I'll do this a little on the closer side so you guys can see what I'm doing. We need another flower down here. So we are going to do a smaller one. Like this little pink guy, I'm going to add him here. Down at the bottom. So you always want to try to go in from the front of your wreath because that's the view that everybody is going to see. I'm sort of looking at it from the side view, but when you are looking at this on the front door, you're going to see it from the front. So that's how you want to, that's how you want your flowers to be angled. All right, guys, so I'm going to get a little closer and try to show you how I'm gluing here. All I'm doing is lifting this up and seeing where the little stem meets the grapevine. I'm just putting a little glue there, holding it for just a second. And that should be good enough, but be cautious. This is an old pool table. That's what we're working on today, and it has a cover over top of it. But keep in mind when you're using a grapevine wreath, you are gonna have some glue seep through the bottom. So make sure that your surface underneath is nice and protected. If you're using like a nice craft table or like your kitchen table, typically hot glue does come back off, so no big deal if some drops down, but some surfaces that may be a little harder. All right, so we're just working on gluing these things. All right, so letting these guys dry as I go. Oop, got some hot glue on the side of my finger. I think I've lost so many fingerprints to hot glue that I don't even notice anymore. Oh, Mom's back.
Hello.
So we're just gluing some stuff in, and I'm gonna get hot glue on your pool table, so I'm sorry.
Well, considering the fact that we've wanted to get rid of it for a long time, this will just hasten the
There you
process.
go. You convinced Dad to get rid of it a little faster.
Well,
Or you can buy a new cover.
well, we don't really use it anymore, so we just use it for storage, unfortunately.
Yeah. I wonder if any of you guys craft in a space like this. I would say I probably wouldn't have a craft space set up if I didn't have the job that I did.
It's
So,
looking good.
doing well. Yeah, so we tried to glue some things in. We're probably going to have to spend some more time gluing down here later.
Okay.
But I'm not super worried about that right this moment. I think we have all the right things in place for now.
I trust you.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So let's start taking some of these bigger stems and we're going to start placing them. So the key is to put them down into the base, like from the direction that my hand is going. So let's take some white and some yellow
Okay.
and start working that way. Actually, you really liked the yellow, so let's start with yellow.
Well, there's an emphasis on the right side of the wreath.
Okay.
Where you've got a huge spray of the yellow.
Okay.
I found that
Yeah.
really attractive.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So we're just going to slip these down, down inside the base or kind of behind the base that we have going this way. We also have some, so Mom, let's talk about the materials we're using. So obviously you bought the grapevine wreath from Michael's and all the fake flowers. So what else did you buy to do this craft?
I did. I don't have a hot glue gun. When Alexandra got married, and she took all the.
I stole it.
Well, They were all for her anyway. So just to make sure that I did have a working hot glue gun, there is a vast assortment of them. So I just had to eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick one. And I did buy an extra bag of glue sticks per my daughter's recommendations.
You can never have enough hot glue, you guys. Never, ever.
And because this is a wreath, she said, Alexander said, go ahead and buy the floral wire as well as the floral tape, just to be sure.
Yep. So that way, if you guys have some stems, maybe you like the way that they look, but they're sticking out in a wonky direction, like this one looks like it might be sticking out a little much. Hey, thanks for joining us. Just in case you have it sticking out too much, the floral wire is a dark green color. It's really cheap. You can literally buy it at the dollar store as well as Michael's and stuff like that. And it's great just for keeping some of these stems down in place if that's what you're going for. So we're kind of going for a little bit of a less structured look, so we probably won't use that quite as much, but you could definitely do that. The floral tape is really useful too if you want to create like little sprays of almost like mini bouquets that need to go together. You can wrap the stems together in the floral tape, and that's what that's for. It's not very sticky. It's really more for like wrapping and keeping stems together. So we have all those essentials. Exactly. Okay. So we have some of those essentials just in case we need them. We may not necessarily use all of them though. So Mom, I'm going to have you clip some more stems. So we also have a pair of wire cutters. My husband came down and told me they were not the right set of wire cutters, but he said as long as they're working, it doesn't matter. So she's going to cut some more stems off of the big stem there for us.
So go down at the base and cut them this way, right?
Yes. So we want as much stem as we can because in the end, we're going to end up trimming the stems out of the back anyways. So, you want to make sure you have enough space, especially because you want some distance away. What did you say? Oh, yes, I am married. Yes. My husband, Andrew, is definitely a little camera shy. I've invited him to lives every once in a while, but crafting's not his thing. Let's just put it that way. He loves that I do that and that's my thing, but it's definitely not his thing. But ironically, Andrew's actually really handy with his hands, though. He's incredibly handy around the house, really good at fixing things and stuff like that. Are you struggling, Mom?
I'm on the struggling bus.
So I don't know what these kinds of wire cutters are. We found these in the garage, and this is what we're using today.
I bought these with a set of needle nose pliers, and they just had several little tools in there.
The wire cutters. He said this is not meant for cutting steel wire, but as long as it's working, that's okay.
This one?
I couldn't get that one to work earlier. Yeah, these are big, thick stems.
Oh, is that what the part? Because I was popping them off before.
I know, they were working so well. I wonder what's going on.
Old-fashioned.
Yeah, that's what he said we're supposed to use, but look at those.
Great grandpa for her.
Those are my my great grandpa's tools, but that's probably why he liked them. Well, my husband has the soul of an old man. Yeah, they're still working. Let's try those. These guys are like really thick. We're having problems. There we go. So there's one stem out of there. You want to work on those? Technical difficulties, guys. Told you it was an experiment. All right. So Mom requested some emphasis along this right side. So that's where we're going to be putting a lot of the flowers. But we're going to try to get rid of some of the structure of this circular wreath by adding all of this yellow spray. And we have some white as well that we'll incorporate. Let's pull that back out a little bit. So I'm gonna try to lift the phone up and show you guys a little bit of what we're. I put the majority of the emphasis over here because that's what the picture showed us. But here's how we're shaping up so far. I'll pull you guys around. And here's the base. So this is going to be the bottom diagonal base, and that over there is going to be the top. So that's kind of what we're working with and what we're working toward. Oh, let me fix you off. Got a little crooked on me. Here we go. Actually, we're going to take you up just a hair so you can see a little bit more about what we're doing. All crooked. Okay. That's not perfect, but it'll work. Okay. Do you have any more stems? Let's put in some white now because we're 100% yellow. So we'll take some of these little white stems and let's put them, let's do some down here and some up here. So I am really big on the proponent of, ooh, yeah, okay. Why don't you show that? So if you guys are just now joining me, here's a picture that inspired Mom. This is the picture of the wreath that she saw at the Biltmore that she wants to emulate. So that's kind of what we're working toward. So I'm glad you showed me that, because one thing we need to start doing is putting some sprays in a different direction.
Okay.
So we need to start kind of messing up the circular piece of this wreath. So one of the elements of design that I always think is really, really important is balance. So that's why we're doing everything on a diagonal line, and we're trying to keep most of the things that we are doing. Oh no. I'm sorry, you guys, my microphone fell off and I didn't notice. We are full of technical difficulties on Easter here, you guys. So I'm going to start over talking about my design because I don't know how much of that you heard. So one of the things that I think is really important about anything that you do in crafting or in art or in general is the element of balance. And so that's why we're working on diagonals, because not any side of the wreath is going to look unbalanced, because whatever is happening over here is also happening diagonally across from it. So that's why we started with this diagonal design, and then we're going to start messing up some of this structure. We're going to start putting stems outward and things like that, inserting them in different directions to try to change some of the structure, because when you look at this wreath, it's very much an unstructured, not traditional circular wreath. So that's what we're shooting for.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, because it is a little wild.
Yeah, it's a little wild, unstructured.
Yeah,
And
there you
was
go.
something about it. It was actually not even for sale. It was in the food court, and oh my gosh, I just had to take a picture of it.
Yeah, the Biltmore is a really fun place. We went there for our first anniversary in August, and it was a lot of fun. It's a really, really neat place. So let us know in the comments if you've ever been to the Biltmore before.
Yeah, in Ashville, North Carolina.
Yes, Asheville in general is so much fun, but we definitely thought the Biltmore was the highlight.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing, largest private residence in the United States.
Yeah.
50 rooms.
So incredible. All right, so we're just adding a little bit of white into some of these stems. I'm going to start inserting my flowers from a different direction so that I can try to get some of that wildflower look going. We haven't glued any of these yet, so we'll have to go back to do that. All right. So we also have some stems like this that are a little more wildflower-esque that we can use as well. So maybe we will, that one's already glued that way. Ooh, I like this one. So I'm going to use this little wildflower stem, and I'm going to go from this direction, because this is where we want our emphasis to be, so we're going to balance it with some bigger elements on the opposite side. Would you go move that suitcase off the table, please?
Oh, sure.
There we go. A little more room to work there. Okay. So let's pick this up and see how all this flower placement is checking out. So, Mom, your opinion matters the most because it's your wreath. So, you take a look first and tell me what you think.
I like it.
Is there anything that needs to be altered? Anything that your eye's drawn to that it shouldn't be drawn to?
Should I hear?
Yeah, lift up a little bit. So here's where we're at, you guys. So you can see we've got some sprays going in some different directions over here and things like that. What do you see about it, Mom, that you want us to work on?
There was a large emphasis on the yellow.
Okay.
On this quadrant here. So I was really attracted to that. So
Okay.
I would say that is what I'd like to see more of.
Okay, so we'll add some more yellow up in this region over here. So you guys see the diagonal here and here, but she's wanting to draw the eye over this way. So we will do more over here. Let me take a look at it too from a far away standpoint. Yeah, I think it's going in the right direction. I think it's definitely moving there. But yeah, we definitely have some more work to do. So the good or the bad thing about these wreaths, you guys, is you can spend, Mom, will you tilt it just a little this way? Nope, like rotate it like this. There you go. Yep, much better. So the good or the bad thing about wreaths is that you can spend as much or as little time on these as you want. So you can spend all day doing the perfect placement and that kind of thing, or you can decide that you're done and be done. So that's kind of the what the process is like. So if you wouldn't mind, will you cut me some more of these, because I'm kind of out of stems a little bit.
No, it's a different.
It is a different yellow flower, but I think that'll be good. That'll add us some texture.
Okay.
And some different, a little different. One of the things that my eye loves more than anything else I have learned about myself is texture. So it's the same color yellow as these other flowers, but it is a different flower, and ultimately I think it's going to be good.
I think so too, and that's why I ended up. Well, it took me probably a couple of hours. Since I'm not really that good with all of this, and then I was stuffing it in and out of the wreath. And I'm sure they were not happy with the floor when I left.
At Michael's.
Yeah, but it was at the end of the night, so they couldn't really bust me for it.
Well, I'm sure that they, where did that go? Oh, here it is. I'm sure that she said that the flowers were 50% off when she went to go buy them. So I'm sure a lot of people were digging through the flowers at that point. You were certainly not alone there.
But yeah, so I think that's a great point about the balance, with the balance and with the texture. That must have been what I'm also attracted to.
Yeah, you guys, so if you're just now joining me, welcome. I'm Alex Vanover with Divine Design Crafts, and I'm here with my mom trying to design a spring wreath. So, hello. And so she sent me this picture like a week ago, and she said, I saw this wreath at the Biltmore, and I really want to do this. Can you help me? Now, I have not done a traditional wreath like this much in the past. I've done some decorating around my house and stuff, but I've never actually put florals in my own wreath. So I looked up some tutorials and some information, and I tried to understand what it was about this wreath that she liked so much so that we could make sure that we did the same thing. And so that's why I was talking about the diagonal balance and stuff like that, is because that's what I saw in the wreath in the picture she sent me. So that's what we were trying to emulate here. So we will find out if we nailed it soon. Kind of the farther you go and the more you do, the more you'll see if you're going in the right direction or not. So we're going to start sticking some in this way and stuff like that so that we can get that almost a wildflower kind of look to this. So let me know in the comments, you guys, do you decorate with a different wreath every season? Is that something that you are like an old pro at, or something that you want to try? Let me know in the comments. When I was looking it up, I was a little bit unsure about it because I'm not super experienced in this realm. But I watched several tutorials, and basically what I learned is that people just kind of go for it. They buy a wreath, they buy the flowers they like, and they make it happen. So that's what we're here trying to do. We may or may not be successful, who knows? But that's why you place first and hot glue later, because if it's an absolute disaster, we can take a lot of these out and start over. So no big deal.
Well, and a preview is a great idea.
Yes.
You get a live preview, and then you can make a decision from there.
I pulled that stem out there. Oopsie. Whoops. Well, that one's shot. Pulled the stem out. Yeah, you did buy plenty. Definitely overbuy if you're going to do this. I was really impressed when I came down here and saw all the flowers she bought, but I think it's really good that we have tons of options just in case, we kind of change as we go and stuff like that.
Well, and I kept my receipt on the outside chance that I would have to take some flowers back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yes, over rather than underbuy.
Yes.
Do you need some more flowers? Yellow flowers?
Yeah, I think we probably are going to need some more.
We have plenty.
Good. So I am going to slip in some of these little buds in here so that it's not totally isolated with the color. I don't want that to happen either.
No, what do you mean by that?
So we don't want this section to be totally yellow and this section to be totally white and yellow. Okay. We want to make sure that it looks a little bit more natural, because part of that wildflower look is that things aren't going to be perfect. Okay. They're not supposed to be. So
do you want the leaves kept on them then?
Sure,
Okay.
keep the leaves, and if we don't want them, I'll just strip them off.
Okay.
That's the beautiful thing about fake flowers is they're super easy to do. So you guys, I buy a lot of my florals from the dollar store. I think if you were trying to do a big wreath like this, I would definitely recommend like going to Michael's. You know, to get like these yellow blooms and stuff like that. But you could probably buy these larger flowers at the dollar store. Just be careful when you buy them. Evaluate them really well before you actually pick them up, because some of them, because they're cheaply made, they start to look a little funny. They don't evaluate well before you buy them, but I don't think it's a bad thing to get your florals from the dollar store. You'd save yourself quite a bit.
Yeah, I did get 50% off of the spring. Not all of them. Some of the fillers I didn't, but I did save $56.
Oh, that's good. Well, and not that that's, you know, always a bad thing, but a lot of crafters are always balling on a budget. That's how we are. So
crafting and I
absolutely, yeah, we have to buy a lot of craft supplies. It's expensive, so we go as cheap as we can.
You've got a great habit.
So, you know, spend at the dollar store if you need to, but also I think it is also important to note that like when you're doing this as a gift or something a little nicer, you do kind of want to spend the money to get the good stuff, because there definitely is a difference, especially if you've crafted with flowers a lot. Like when I was doing this for my wedding, I would buy like certain colors and certain looks from the dollar store, but I didn't buy everything from the dollar store because I wasn't happy with the quality. One place that I was really impressed with the flowers was actually Joann's. I bought some beautiful like coral colored roses that were so gorgeous from Joann's, and that was a place I hadn't expected to find anything at all. But that ended up being really pretty, and we decorated a little wagon for my niece to ride in down the aisle with those.
Beautiful.
Yes, it was so cool. Yes, do you have any more white, or is that all the white you have?
I think that's all I got.
Okay, that's fine.
I know. I realize now I'm looking at it that that's.
Well, you know, you can always also go back and buy more too. I mean,
We're doing it for
you know, all you have to do is stick it in there and glue it. So, do you have those wire? Well, you're using those. So you guys, I'm going to pull off these little wildflower stems just to kind of break up some of the yellow and the white a little bit. I'm using wire cutters that don't really work. So that will help break up some of the monotony of the yellow and the white as well. So I'm going to pull these little leaves off the bottom, and I'm just left with these little guys. So they're like yellow, but then it's got this little like wildflower piece that will be perfect for breaking up some of that color and stuff. Okay, so I'm looking at where we're lacking. Let's take another second and take a look at where we're at before I keep going. So Mom, I want you to have the first look and see what you think. And then if you wouldn't mind picking up the camera.
Okay.
Step back first. What do you think?
I like it.
Is there what direction do we need to go?
I still, well, no, I think we can start putting in more color now.
Okay.
Yeah.
More color around the sides?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you hold the wreath and I'll go move the camera
Sure.
and show the people where we're at?
All right.
All right, guys, I'm going to set my microphone down for just a second. I'm going to go move the camera and let you see the full view of the wreath so far. Hi. Thanks, Corinne, for joining me. All right, so hold that up a little higher, Mom. So that's where we're at, you guys. So yeah, what I'm really liking, I'm liking that big white piece over there on the side, kind of sticking out.
Here?
Yeah. There's actually one down at the bottom also. I need to shorten it a little bit, but I think we've got the right idea. The top, I think, is where we're lacking the most. So I want to work on that top sector up there and the bottom sector down there and fill it up just a little bit on that top diagonal, but I think we are definitely going in the right direction. So if you will set that back down, please, Mom.
Okay.
We'll keep on going. Let me grab my microphone. All right. Oh, guys, my mom was saying she saw a comment, but I think we missed it. So if you just commented, if you wouldn't mind sending that again, sorry. YouTube takes them away so fast. I don't know what they're saying. So let's get some volume up here at the top. So we're going to do some of that. And so I'm using these different wildflower blooms that are still in our color scheme, but they're a little bit out of the box. We're going to stick those in there. And so I'm actually going to cut this one off a little bit. This stem down here at the bottom was really sticking out the side, and I feel like it might have been sticking out a little too much. So I'm going to snip him off and use him somewhere else. All right, so then we'll go out this way also too. Maybe actually up a little. So we'll break up a little bit of that yellow with some white flour. Okay, so I think we need to take a second and hot glue also, because we haven't done that in a while, and I don't want it to turn into like too difficult of a project to hot glue. So,
could we use some of these?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're going to use some of the wildflower pieces. Yeah, why don't you snip those off, and we can definitely add in some of those.
How far do you want me to snip down? You want me just right here?
Yeah, just kind of where it meets the base there. It's probably where you want to snip it.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, as low down as you can go.
Okay.
So you guys, we want to make sure that we give it plenty of stem. So I'm going to have her snip these as low as she can on the wildflower. Yes. That way, in case we want to get any volume out of it, or if we need to stick it in a little deeper into the grapevine, then we can do that.
Yeah, that's a little bit thick, isn't it?
Yeah, they get a little bit difficult sometimes.
The old-fashioned ones.
Yeah, my great-grandpa scissors. Or tools. Hey, Mom, what time is it? Sounds like something maybe.
3:55.
Oh, well, you guys, time just got away from us. We were having so much fun that we may have to cut this short a little bit because it sounds like some of my family is here. So let's finish gluing this, and then we'll do a last preview. And then you guys, make sure you check out Divine Design on Instagram and Facebook. I am super active on there when I'm not making videos, and I will definitely send you guys a final look at our wreath when we are all finished. So in a few minutes, I will post the social media links in the video description if you don't already. You can also just search for me on Facebook and Instagram as Divine Design Crafts, and you'll probably find me. So we're getting close here, but we definitely still need some last bursts of color, a little bit of balance and things like that. Yeah, we definitely want to incorporate a few more of the brighter flowers, but you definitely don't want to, I feel like we don't want to get too far without hot gluing, because otherwise we'll have like hundreds of stems on here. And we'll have to go back and hot glue everything. And that would be overwhelming. You'd probably miss some. But one thing that I am going to also encourage her to do is wrap some floral wire around some of these areas in closer to the grapevine. That way, in case we miss an area, we'll do that when we're all done. So we're not going to do it right this second. But we're gonna wrap some of these areas with floral wire kind of inconspicuously behind. Yes, with floral wire behind some of the flowers. That way, in case like the wind shakes it loose or whatever the case may be, it's going to be a little bit more durable that way. Because no one's going to get super close to this wreath and examine all the hot glue pieces and things like that. So I like doing this because we're not looking at necessarily being perfect. We're just looking at what's going to be pretty from far away. So that makes it super fun.
Well, and again, I certainly appreciate you helping me.
Of course.
And it's fun doing it together.
Yeah, it is fun. And that's teaching me something new too. It's always good to learn something new. So, yeah, it sounds like there's some family upstairs, you guys. So, Mom, would you mind going around and moving the phone so they can see?
Sure.
So here's our current view of the wreath. It is definitely not finished, but it still has some ways to go, but we're off to a good start. So my name's Alex Vanover with Divine Design Crafts. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And my special guest, my mom at my parents' house in Cincinnati. If you're enjoying this video and you like this content, make sure to give me a big thumbs up so that I know that you like it. And if you want to hang out more often, make sure you subscribe to Divine Design Crafts YouTube channel. I post new videos every Friday and occasionally more throughout the week. So thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Happy Easter. Hope you guys enjoy lots of time with your family, egg hunts, and make sure you go to church on Easter too, because it's the biggest Christian holiday of the whole year. So thanks so much.